Ladies and gentlemen, it's The Muppet Show!
It's time to play the music. It's time to light the light. It's time to meet the Muppets on The Muppet Show tonight.
It's time to put on makeup. It's time to dress up right. It's time to raise the curtain on The Muppet Show tonight.
But now let's get things started on
The most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Muppetational. This is what we call a Muppet Show.
One of the most endearing qualities of the Disney parks is the wide array of admired characters spread throughout its magical lands. Whether they be animated or live action, heroes or villains, there is never a shortage of unique personalities being represented in the parks. No group of characters, however, are more colorful and cherished than the peculiar band of misfits known as the Muppets, a classic troupe whose timeless brand of humor manifested in the form of a hilarious attraction known as Muppet Vision 3D. So sit back as we fly in the arches, ready the explosives, gather up the rubber chickens, and arm the cannon, because it's time to get things started on the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Muppetational episode ever. Before we delve into the attraction, we first will explore how such iconic characters made their way through the gates of the Mouse House in the first place. In the late 1980s, the Walt Disney Company began business negotiations with one of the most unparalleled creative geniuses of the entertainment industry, Jim Henson. The discussions were centered mainly on Disney purchasing Jim Henson Productions and thereby acquiring the company's beloved Muppet characters. Jim, a self-proclaimed Disney fan, was eager to further such plans as he wanted to ensure that his creations would remain immortalized forever, much like Walt Disney's own characters. Of all the various parts that make up Disney, the one area that intrigued Jim's imagination the most were its theme parks. So naturally, that's where Henson set his eyes on when it came time to produce the first major project between the two companies. The Muppets had already made their Disney park debut when the live stage show Here Come the Muppets opened in 1989 at the Animation Courtyard Theater at Disney MGM Studios. Other ideas that were floated around included an entire Muppet Studios land, with multiple attractions including a restaurant and a Muppet parody of the Great Movie Ride. Alas, it was that project's core attraction that sparked the minds of Jim and Disney's Imagineers, and would take the notion of a theme park attraction to a whole new dimension. Literally. Muppet Vision 3D was set in the fictitious Muppet Labs where Kermit the Frog invites guests on a tour to demonstrate their latest 3D film technology. As it is with the Muppets, chaos and pandemonium shortly ensue. Filmed entirely at Stage 3 on the Walt Disney Studios lot in Burbank, California, the attraction combines a 3D film with in-theater special effects, including a live, full-bodied character and several audio animatronics. Jim took on the task of directing the film from a screenplay written by Bill Prady. In addition to directing, Henson also performed his signature characters alongside fellow Muppet performers Frank Oz, Dave Goelz, Richard Hunt, Steve Whitmire, Jerry Nelson, and one of Jim's own sons, John Henson, who performed the role of the friendly ogre, Sweetums. A television special titled The Muppets at Walt Disney World was produced to mark the forthcoming union between the Walt Disney and Jim Henson companies. Unfortunately, on May 16, 1990, Jim Henson suddenly passed away, leaving the two parties, and the world, stricken with unshakable grief. Negotiations eventually broke down between the two companies and remained that way for more than a decade until finally in 2004, the Jim Henson Company sold the Muppets to Disney, ultimately fulfilling one of Jim Henson's lifelong wishes. With the usual celebratory fanfare associated with Disney debuts, the attraction opened as Jim Henson's Muppet Vision 3D on May 16, 1991 at Disney MGM Studios in Walt Disney World. A second incarnation opened at Disney's California Adventure on February 8, 2001. The original Florida version of Muppet Vision 3D is located in the Streets of America area of Disney's Hollywood Studios, while California's attraction is found nestled in the Hollywoodland section of Disney California Adventure. In both attractions, guests walk through the halls of Muppet Labs until they reach the theater's proper room, which acts as the attraction's pre-show, where several of the Muppets entertain the awaiting guests as they ready themselves for the show. Entering the recreated theater from the Muppet Show, guests are treated to a few heckles from Statler and Waldorf, who are watching the show from their traditional spot in the balcony. The show goes off without a hitch, with Kermit introducing the facility to the guests, elaborating that the rest of the Muppets have planned several sequences for the audience to enjoy in the experimental 3D format. The show, however, begins to unravel as several unexpected circumstances come about, eventually resulting in the film ending in an explosive finale that leaves the theater in ruins. Of course, in true Muppet fashion, no one is hurt and the guests are encouraged to return again in the future. No other Disney attraction can hold a candle to the eccentric nature of Muppet Vision 3D. Combining the humor and charm that the Muppets are known for with the endless imagination of Jim Henson and Walt Disney Imagineering, Muppet Vision 3D is a hysterically funny romp that's destined to keep the laughs going on for many years to come.
Statler?
Yeah, what?
Is that it?
Yes, it's over. How'd you like it?
I don't know. I slept through the whole thing.
Well, you didn't miss much.